Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to have fun a little bit. I've been doing a lot of like in-depth stuff with Uprising so far, which I know you all have been loving, and I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting with that. But I want to kind of just have fun and go through the card pool that Fi has access to and kind of give you my thoughts on like how each card fits in the Fi and like what the strength and weakness of each card is, and just kind of like give my 1 to 5 star review on like the card itself as it pertains to Fi. I'm using Phoenix Flames instead of stars. 1 is worst, 5 is best. If it's 4 and above, it's nearly an auto include in your deck. 3 is just okay. 2 is like really fringe, or like I wouldn't suggest using this card, like don't waste your time with it. And then 1 is like don't play this card, it's bad. We're gonna start with Blood of the Draca. It's the Fabled, really awesome artwork. I got a metal plate Blood of the Draca up on my shelf now that I bought from Steve, and it's just awesome. But as it pertains to 5, this card is sort of like, it's not bad, but this card is, in my opinion, mainly meant for Dromai because she gets an effect from pitching, red cards. With 5, you're basically like, this is just basically another blue. It doesn't really do a whole lot. Now, if you drew into this card, it'd be really nice, obviously. But overall, like, this card works really well with Flame Scale Furnace and with a couple other cards. So, I think this is just more of a Dromai card. So I probably would end up giving this 2 flames. I really wouldn't use it in Fi. It's very awesome, and it's not like it hurts you in Fi. It basically replaces a blue, but like, it's more of a Dromai card. Its full effect is going to be more useful with Dromai. Originally, when I first saw this card, I was like, this is awesome. This is crazy for Fi. It's so good. And then the more I looked at it, the more I realized that it's not the best card. So there's that. So we have Brand with Cinder Claw. I personally think like this is a 4-star card in CC. At the very least, it's a 0 for 3 go again. You might end up just putting this at 3 actually, just because it's just a solid card, right? It's not like a great card, but it's a solid card. It's a 0 for 3 go again, which in Fi is gonna be great. It only blocks for 2 though, which kind of sucks. But your next attack this combat chain is Draconic in addition to other types. So this could be used with Kodachis. So if you're in a Kodachi build, this is probably 4 flames, but just in a generic 5 build, this is 3 flames. That's how I look at it. So overall, not too bad. Next one is Breaking Point. Draconic action has Rupture. If Breaking Point is played, this chain link 4 or higher. When it hits a hero, destroy all cards in the arsenal. For me, this is a 4. This is one of the best Rupture cards there is, period, in my opinion. Yes, there are some heroes that can play around this effect, like Icelander playing at instant speed and Oldheim being able to crown out, or other instants even from Prism. But it's always going to be that threat, and it's going to force your opponent to make a decision, and it's a 1 for 5. Like, the nice thing about this card is even if you don't get to chain link 4, you can still end the turn on a 1 for 5. Like, you absolutely can't play as chain link 4. And then if you play on the 5, it's basically like a mini Command and Conquer. It blocks for 3. Just a great card in my opinion, and I think it's really good. So that's my take on this card. Then you have Cinder Skid Devotion. Honestly, for me, this is a 2 at red. So this comes in red, yellow, and blue. At red, it's a 2. I don't think it's good. You're going to have to play it on Chainlink 2 to give it go again, and it costs 1. So I basically have to hope to have a 0 cost go again, like in my starter, because I don't want to pitch 1 to play a go again card like Dust Runner, and then pitch 1 to play this, and then I can't swing with Ember Blade. And plus, I want to be swinging with Ember Blade on my second link most of the time anyway. So I say it's a 2. At blue, though, this is like maybe a 3. It's not bad at blue because it is a 3-block blue. But most of my blues are 0 cost because I have Kodachis in the sideboard. So blue, it's a 3. Red and yellow, it's a 2. Just not the most amazing card. Then you have Combustion Point. To me, this card is nuts. I give this card a 4 flamer. Target Draconic Ninja attack action card gains +1. You may banish a non-equipment defending card with less than the number of Draconic Chainlinks you control. Basically means if you play an attack on Chainlink 3 and then use this on top, you can banish a 2 blocker. If you play this on Chainlink 4 and then play this card, you banish a 3 block. And then the ultimate case scenario is you draw into this card and you play it on Chainlink 5 and you can banish a defense reaction. It is going to be a little bit hard to get off. So like, this is a weird card. So at its height, I think it's a 4 flame, but then, just in normal practice, probably a 3 flame now that I'm looking at it. It's a really hard card to evaluate because it's one of those cards where like the payoff isn't always there, but when it does work, it can win you games because it's basically route for ninja, right? So overall, not bad. And it's a 3 block at the very least, right? So it does give you that 3 block capability, which is really good. So overall, not terrible. Dust Runner, simple enough. This is a 3. It's a 1 for 4 go again. It's basically a draconic leg tap. Really good. You're gonna want this in your deck, in my opinion. You might even put this up to 4, not because of the power of the card, but because the power of what it's doing with what you want to do with Fi. Like you want Fi to go wide. You want like the core of Fi is gonna be go again starters like Dust Runner, Ronin Renegade. And then you have cards like Engulfing Flame Wave, Mounting Anger, Rising Resentment, all these like go again cards you're going to want as your core with Fi. So for what Fi wants to do, this is 4 flames, not necessarily the power of the card, but the power of what you want to do with Fi makes it 4 flames in my opinion. But it's a pretty simple card overall. Then Engulfing Flame Wave. I mean, this card, in my opinion, is a 5, not because the card's broken by any means or anything crazy, but this is exactly everything you want with Fi, other than being the only thing bad about this card is it's not a block 3, it's a block 2. At red, this is a 5. You have to play this card. Like it's a 2 for 5 with go again, which is already pretty good. Then if it hits, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an attack action card with cost less than number of draconic chain link control, banish it. So it's basically almost like a shadow puppetry in an attack for 5. It's just pretty nice. The only bad thing about it is it's a block and not a block 3. So at red, it's a 5, and then yellow and blue, it's like But at red, you definitely want this in your deck. Like this is your Surging Strike for 5, right? Or for 5. This gets everything started. Like it's an auto include in my opinion. Then you have Flame Scale Furnace. For 5, this is a 2. Not that it's not good in Fi. I'm definitely going to have this in the sideboard Fi. The reason I put it at 2 is not because the power of the card is bad, but because its use case for Fi isn't always there. This is a fringe card because you're only going to use this in matchups where you want to block out like dominated attacks or key attacks. Like against Prism, I would like to put this in and put Shuko in because I will be able to block 2 Herald of Eruditions potentially. One time with the chest and one time with the arms. And then if they come with a third one late game, I can block with Mask, right? Having this and Shuko in your deck allows you to block all 3 Herald of Eruditions with 5 when you have Mask in play as well. So it's 2, not because of the power of the card or how it works with 5, but most of it because it has a specific use case. Like it's Teklo Foundry Heart type ability, right? Is not as important because with 5, you're not going to want to be pitching red cards. So that doesn't really matter to me. It's really just for block value, to be completely honest. Then we have Heat Wave. This is a sealed / like commoner card, but for what it is, you know, it's just a 2 because in Classic Constructed it's not gonna be as important. But you know, in CC this is a 2. Not the best card in the world that you're gonna want to use. There's just other better arms equipment, right? Stubby Hammers is one. Shuko could even be considered better because it's basically this ability multiple turns. But in sealed and in commoner, this is great. In sealed and commoner, this is like a 3 or a 4 flame. It goes up, but in CC, it's definitely lower. So then you have Lava Burst. This is one of the better Rupture cards in my opinion because you can play this off a 3-card hand. You know, if you have a 0 cost attack for go again, like a Ronin Renegade, you play Ronin Renegade for 3. You pitch Emberblade. Let's say you have Ronin Renegade, a blue, and this card. So you play Ronin Renegade for 3, then you pitch to blue to play Emberblade that makes it 6. You use your last resource to go get a Phoenix Flame, and then play that in the 3rd chain, making it 7, and then you play this for 5 for 12. So off a 3-card hand, you just dealt 12 damage, and you threaten Mask Momentum. So like super nice, and it's a block 3. I think this is like one of the top Rupture targets you would play in Fi because it's a 0 cost, and it's a 5. And none of your Rupture cards have go again anyway. So like, you could snap this if you absolutely wanted to, if it's threatening Mask, right? It's not a 2 cost, so you know, super nice for that. I think this is like this doesn't have the scary like on hits or like extra effects that like Rise Up or Red Hot has, but the consistency of what this card will bring you. Personally, I'm making a 4 flamer. Personally, I don't think it's like auto include. You will have it every single time, but it's definitely one of my favorite Rupture cards, so I give it 4 flames. Then you have Lava Vein Loyalty. At red, this is 2 flames. It's the same thing as Cinderskin Devotion. Like, you have to play a go again starter before this, and then you play this to give it go again. Without something before it, it doesn't have go again. It is a block 3. So, like, it's not that this card is innately just bad. It's just there's other cards that do what this card does at 0 cost already, and, like, you can fill up your deck with them. So, like, this is a sealed card. It's a good sealed card. It's a block 3. At blue, though, I'm putting this at 4 flames. It's a 0 cost block 3 at blue. Comes in for 1 if you absolutely had to use it, right? Because you're not going to lead a chain with the blue anyway. So at blue, it's a 4. Like, it's one of the main blues in my deck. But at red, it's a 2. So that's where I have this card. Then you have Liquefy. This is a 3. It's definitely a sideboard card, and it's only for certain heroes. But being able to melt someone's Tunic, or melt a Crown of Seeds, or melt a Snapdragon Scalers, right, is just nuts. With Icelander being able to melt her Storm Striders, super nice. And really, against Icelander, if you draw this like turn 1 or 2 and you can play it, then, you are now able to melt their Storm Striders very early, and that really hurts their ability to pop off. So super good card, kind of auto include in the sideboard. Definitely a 3, if not a 4. It depends on how the meta goes. If the meta's a lot of Oldhim and Icelander, then this card's going to be insane. Definitely use it. It's going to be a 4. Depending on how the meta goes, it could go down to a 3. Then you have Mounting Anger. This is a 4 to me. It's a core card, right? You play this on turn 0. You can play this on Chainlink 0 and then give Ronin and Renegade +1 after you banish it, right? At red, it's a 4. It basically allows your 0 cost to come in for 4, because most of your 0 cost attacks that go again are going to come in for 3, like Ronin Renegade and Cinderskin, or Brand with Cinderskin, no, Brand with Cinder Claw will allow those cards to come in for 4. Super nice. At red, at blue, it's like a 2 or a 3. I like 0 cost blues personally, so you can summon Kadachis against Dromai, but at red, it's definitely a 4 in my opinion, one of the core cards in the deck. Then you have Phoenix Form. This is a weird card for me to grade. At its height, right? Perfect. It's a 5, because you're coming in for 5 with go again, on hit, draw 3 cards. It's nuts. Getting 3 Phoenix Flames out, though, is, although not insanely hard, is not easy either. And at worst, this is going to be a 0 for 3 go again if you've played 1 flame, and it's a 0 for 5 go again if you've played 2 flames. So I definitely think this is included in your deck, and the power of the card itself is good, but just be wary that, like, don't build your deck around this card, right? So I'm going to give it 4 flames because of the overall power of the deck. However, I can't give it 5 because, as good as it is, like, it also is a little bit situational. It's very situational depending on how the game is going. And it is a block 3. I get it. The on-hit effect is amazing if you can get all 3 flames out. And we'll have to do a lot of testing to see how often Fi can get all 3 flames out. But, like, the only way you get all 3 flames out early in the game is if you draw into Flame Call Awakening really quickly, or you draw into your Phoenix Flames really quickly and get them all engraved, right? Or you arsenal a Phoenix Flame with 2 engraved and then draw into this card. Then you could do it. But it doesn't have Dominate or anything. So it's just going to be an auto block for them anyway. Like, they're just going to block this out. So it's similar to Snatch, but even greater. Like, no one's going to let this card hit. Like, you'd have to combine this card with Combustion Point or with, like, Razor or something to get it to hit. Because if you don't, then you're kind of screwed. So that's why it's a little bit iffy for me. The card itself in a vacuum is amazing, has amazing effects, but it's just very situational in my opinion. Then you have Rebellious Rush. In CC, this is decent. I give us a 3. Like, it's not bad. I would rather play Engulfing Flame Wave as my 2-coster. Because you're not going to want a lot of 2 costs in the deck because of all the ice that's going to be running around. But it's a good card, right? Engulfing Flame Wave is better. This definitely isn't a fringe card by me. It's still a 2 for 5 with go again. But, this is like a 2.5 for me. Probably more willing to be a 2, to be honest. So it all depends. Sorry, the dogs are excited about the set, as they usually are. Then we have Red Hot. Red Hot, this has the highest ceiling to any Rupture card, right? It's a 2 for 4 no go again, but if you play it on Chainlink 4, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. If they're all red cards, you deal 4 damage, like a single source of 4 damage to any target you're choosing. It's not arcane or physical. So unless they have Quell, or unless they have like Oasis or something like that, they can't stop this damage. You can either choose to put it at the hero, so it's basically a 2 for 8 at that point, or you can choose to put it at dragon, right? And kill one of their dragons if their dragon has 4 health or less. I played this on Chainlink 5 at Vegas in sealed and dealt 9 damage, right? And I killed one of their dragons and then killed or hit them for 4. So, and it's a block 3. I think this is definitely can be in Fi. I personally would probably give this a 4 just because the overall power of it. It is a 2 cost, which is a little bit weary, right? Like you're gonna have to play like probably Arsenal this card and then play it out in the next turn. But the overall power of the card is just too good. It's going to help you get rid of some of Fi's like mid-sized or Drumai's like mid-sized dragons, or even get rid of some other things that someone might have on the field. So overall, not bad. Then you have Rise from the Ashes. I like this card a lot. This is a 3 for me. It's a +3, and you can go get Phoenix Flame. So if you want to, you basically can play this, go get Phoenix Flame, play Phoenix Flame for 3, and now, with Go Again, and now you basically it went and got Phoenix Flame and replaced itself, allowing you to attack for 3. If you don't want to go get Phoenix Flame, you can play like really good cards like, Rowan Renegade for 6. Or you can play like an Engulfing Flame Wave for 8 because it's not, I've done that before. Play this, go get a Phoenix Flame, play Engulfing Flame Wave for 8, then play Phoenix Flame for 1, and then continue out your turn and stuff like that. So just really good card overall. Definitely, I would say a 3. Then you have Rise Up. This card's a little weird. I'm going to give it a 3. So this is similar to Phoenix Form, where like at its height, this is a 5 because it's literally a 1 for 7 or 1 for 9, dominate if you've played all 3 flames. But like most of the time, you're probably going to play this after 1 flame more times than not, right? So it's basically a 1 for 5 dominate, no Go Again, which is really good. But it has to be on Chainlink 4 or higher, or a 1 for 7. It is really good. It's just, I try to look at these type of cards and Phoenix Form, and like, if they have 3 layers of abilities, what's like their least common denominator layer, and like how good is that? And so for this, it's a 1 for 5 dominate, which 5 dominates really nothing, to be honest, at least in today's power level, which is how crazy this game has gotten. So it's definitely a 3 for me. Definitely good. I probably would put it in my deck, but it's not like something that's gonna like wow me by any means. Then you have Rising Resentment. This is a 4 automatic. Like this is such a good card. You play this on Chainlink 0, or not Chainlink 0, but you play this on Chainlink 2, and then you're allowed to banish like a Mounting Anger or like a Soaring Strike, or even a flame or Engulfing Flame Wave and stuff like that, and it gets 1 less. So it's super nice for that. It's a good card. I like this at red and blue. Definitely at blue, it's a 4 as well. I'm putting this in my blue, so I really enjoy this card. Nothing crazy to say about it. Just really solid card. Rowan Renegade, again, solid card, 0 for 3. Like, you want this in the deck, like, for combo starting. I say combo because I'm so used to Katsu, but for Go Again starter, like, the core of Fi is going to be his Go Again red cards that you play on Chainlink 1. You're going to need a lot of those in the core, so overall, really good card. Then Searing Emberblade. For me, this is like a 3.5, right? So I think it's really good. I'm gonna put it at 4 just because at its height, it's so good. It can put a lot of pressure on. I did my video on Searing Emberblade versus Kadachi's the other day. If you want to go check that out, please do. But just a really good weapon. At first, everybody was like, "Oh, 2 resources for 3. Like that's really not that good." But playing this on Chainlink 2 is so nice because they can't block with Phantasmal Footsteps. They can't just block with Shield. Like the main argument I want to make for this over Kadachi's is most time you want to play Kadachi's on 1 and 2. And the way a lot of these decks are right now in the meta that are good, like Oldheim and Prism, like they can block out your Kadachi's with Spectral Shields, with Shield, regular Shield, with Crown of Seeds, with Phantasmal Footsteps. They can really turn off your Kadachi's really quickly without committing cards from hand, really. This makes them commit a card from hand because it's coming in for 3. This gets buffed by Uprising. It'll attack for 4. This gets buffed by, all other types of, like, a couple other types of cards, right? It's just really good. And I think it's just overall, solid card. Then we have Searing Touch. This is an interesting one. I don't have, like, a ton of experience with this card innately, right? It really depends on, It's basically how I look at it is it's a 1 for 5. The 2 damage is really nice because you can kill an Ashwing, or you can kill like Like Jeremiah has that one dragon that's like a 6-for-1. But then again, like if you're only dealing 2 or less damage to something anyway, like I don't know. This is decent. I don't think this is good innately compared to the other rupture cards. It can close out games for you potentially, but overall, I think in comparison to the other rupture cards, it's a little bit less, in my opinion. But that's just how I look at it. So I'm gonna give it a 2 flame. Then you have Soaring Strike. We have 5 more, y'all. Soaring Strike. Again, similar to Mounting Anger, Rising Resentment. This is a 4. You play this Chain Link 1, and you can banish a 0 cost that doesn't have Go Again and give it Go Again. Where this is amazing is you play this with like a Lava Burst, right? So you play this, you banish Lava Burst, right? Because it's 0 cost. Now all of a sudden, Lava Burst, when you do play it on Chain Link 4, is going to be 0 for 5 Go Again, right? It allows you to be able to play those rupture cards effectively, or Breaking Point. If you play this on Chain Link 2 and then you banish your Breaking Point, then your Breaking Point all of a sudden is 1 for 5 Go Again, right? It can turn some of those rupture cards, even like Rise Up, into Go Again cards. So super nice. Definitely include this at red. It's a 4-star. And that's how I look at it, to be honest with you. Then we have Spreading Flames. So when I first saw this card, this was in my 43 damage 5-turn video, right? This card is bonkers if it has the right cards with it, but it's too situational because you're going to play this turn Chain Link 1. This is just me learning 5 more as I'm messing with the deck. You play this Chain Link 1. Chain Link 2, in order to get the most out of this, you either need to play a Phoenix Flame or you need to play an Inflame, or else it's really not going to get the buff. There's nothing else that really in the deck that you can play where it's going to get that +1 buff. Then on Chain Link 3, you need to play a 2-coster, right? Or 2 base or less, which again isn't a whole lot. You can't play Ember Blade on Chain Link 3 because it won't work. You can't play even Ronin Renegade. What this will do is this basically will buff your next Phoenix Flame and it will buff your next Rupture attack, is the best way I look at it, right? Lava Burst will come in for 6. Rise Up will come in for +1 more. Like, even Red Hot will come in for +1 more if it's on Chain Link 5. That's how you get around this. But overall, when I first saw this, I thought it was a 4-flamer. Now I think it's a 2. Personally, not as big on this card. And I actually don't have Inflame in here, which I just noticed that because these are in alphabetical order. Inflame is also a 2. For me, it used to be a 4, but I think now it's a 2. It just doesn't come in with enough damage. It basically is a 1 that lets you go get a Phoenix Flame, which with 5, like, yes, it's nice because you're going to be threatening mass, but in this game, like, you're going to want to present a little bit more damage. I just don't want to attack 3 times and only have presented like 5 damage. Like, there's no point in that, right? So this is definitely a 2 flame for me. Then we have Take the Tempo. Okay, so I'm going to switch to Katsu here because in 5, you're not going to play this, in my opinion. You're just not. That's just my opinion. You're not going to play anything that's just generic Ninja and Fi. I don't like hybrid decks. I'm going to make a hybrid deck tech for y'all just so I give you, if I were to play it, what I would do. But I don't like it. I do like Ninja, though. For Katsu, this is definitely a 3-flame card. It's a 4-flame card if you're playing like my Breakpoint list that was like all aggro with on-hit effects. It's really good, but I really like this card. You play this at the very end of a chain, like Chain Link 5 or something, and it hits and you banish a card. And it basically has the Break Tide ability without having to be comboed. So super good card. Maybe even be a 4-flame because it's a 1 for 5. Super nice. And basically can give you a 6-card hand the next turn. Especially if you're playing this on like, let's say you've gotten 6 links off and they block the first set of masks and all of a sudden you come in for 5 right here. They let this hit. You can order your triggers and basically allows you to like, it allows you to, draw from mask and then draw with this, and then have a 6-card hand for next turn. It is if you've hit 3 or more times this combat chain, but like I said, the best time to play this would be like Chain Link 6 when you're presenting mask again, and then you basically have a 6-card hand the next turn. So I give it 4 flames. Then we have Tide Flippers. In Ninja as a whole, this is 4. This is awesome. This replaces Null Rune Boots. It's basically Null Rune Boots. In Fi, it's even better because it can buff your Phoenix Flames if you absolutely need it to. But it's basically a buff Null Rune Boots. It's really nice. Nothing too much to say about that one. And then we have Tiger Stripe Shuko. In Fi, this is a 3. I think you could build a deck around this personally, but overall, really, it remains to be seen. I like this a lot, though, because you can build a deck around it. It does buff your Phoenix Flames. In a fatigue matchup, I would put this in over Stubbies because I want my Phoenix Flames to get that +1 buff, and I want to be able to block for 2 on something really key. Like I said, you can use this Flame Scale Furnace and Mass to be able to block like 3 dominating attacks really good. So overall, I really enjoy this as the 3 flame. But yeah, so that's the basis of it. I don't think I missed any. Like I said, Inflame wasn't in here. I don't know how I missed that one putting it in here, but overall, I give him Inflame a 2. But yeah, that's the basis of it. If there's any other cards y'all want me to go over, I just want to go over Fi specifically, and the cards that he has access in his pool. I know there's generics in this set that he has access to, but I stuck to just Draconic and Draconic Ninja. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoy this. Hopefully it made sense. Let me know what y'all think. If you'd like this, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If not me, go to our Flesh Bro career, do the same thing for them so we get more people seeing this game. Join the Discord down below if you want. We have a lot of great individuals in there talking Ninja and just talking Flesh and Blood in general. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.